children with additional needs. How to prepare your child. Now, like I've said before, disclaimer, Neville, go away. Go away, I'm not talking to you. These are things that work for us. They might not work for everybody, but they're just ideas for you to try. So social stories. Freddie loves a social story. We use them at school quite a lot, and it's telling him, this is what is going to happen, then this will happen, then this will happen. So before you go on holiday, when you're building up to go to the airport, if your child responds well to social stories, that would be an ideal thing to do. So you could do it in sections. So, you know, the day we go to the airport, this is what time we need to get up. We then need to load the luggage into the car, but you know, this is what time we need to leave. We're then going to travel and it's going to take this amount of time, but there may be traffic. If you're getting in a taxi, you'd say our taxi is coming at this time. If you're getting a bus or a coach, you know, whatever it is that you're doing travel-wise, you'd put that in the social story. Obviously, if you get in a taxi, it'd be, we will be dropped off at the terminal, then we will get our luggage out of the taxi, then we will walk into the terminal, and you could put on there which terminal it is and have a little picture so they know what to expect and what they're looking for. Or if you're going to the valet parking or the park and ride and you get on a bus, you can say we're going to the car park, we will leave the car here, we will then take the luggage out the car and put it on the bus, we will then get the bus to the terminal, we will take our car to this car park, we will hand our key over, we will then walk across the road to the terminal, and use little pictures of what to expect. So if you're, like I've used purple parking before, so if we were doing purple parking, I'd use their little logo. We are dropping our car off at purple parking. Maybe a picture of the bus that we'll be getting on, just so they know what to expect. And then once you've done the transition from home to the airport, you can then go through, we will need to go to this desk in zone B at the North Terminal. We'll wait in the queue and then we will be called forward and they will check our passports and they will put our bags on and weigh them, and then they'll put the labels on the bags and take them away. Then we will go to security, like, you know, whether you're going to go in a lift or an escalator, to, you know, it's all stuff that you can research on the airport's website. You can take them through, do the social story of what security looks like. We're going to have to, you know, we can't take liquids through, or they have to be a certain amount in a plastic bag, and you have to put everything in here. So if, like, Freddie's always got his iPad, we have to put the iPad in the tray, and then they'll take that through and scan it while you're going through and you're being scanned, and then you'll be reunited at the end. And then we are going to go and have dinner at the pub, and this is what you're going to eat. And once we finish dinner, we'll go to the shop, and then once we've been to the shop, we'll go to the toilet, and then we will go to the gate. It seems like a lot of work, but it works really well for kids that rely on routine and knowing what's next. So that's a social story that you could do and print out in preparation, and you could go through that. I mean, the social stories we use with Freddie, we tend to go through twice a day, like once in the morning, once in the afternoon or evening, depending what it is. So I'd start doing that now. We're going in 39 days. I don't need to now because he's well versed with what flying is and how we're doing it. But if it was a new thing, or he was still unsure and didn't enjoy it, then that's something that we would do. Start doing it now, just so he knows what's going to happen on the day. Timelines as well. So that go away, Neville. That social stories are good for. What's happened?
There's a fake train track Freddie and hobby.
Oh, get it out. That social story is good for preparing what's going to happen. If your kid responds well to timelines like now and next boards, have a timeline or a schedule. So you could use little widgets, you know, little Velcro pictures, or you could do it as a tick list on a print out piece of paper of, you know, the car, the bus, check-in, security, food. So as you're going through, they can cross it off or take it off and put it away. So they know, right, I've done that bit, this is what's going to happen next. So they know what to expect. YouTube videos are amazing. We watch YouTube videos of places that we're going to go to, things that we're going to do, so we can say to Freddie, look, this is what we're going to do. So he's got a sort of a little bit of an understanding of what to expect when we get there. You could do that with the airport. There's plenty of people vlogging, and I'm sure there's stuff online, like on the accessibility stuff on the airport's websites that would take you through that sort of thing as well, more so for the security, like the places where you can't film. But when you're watching the YouTube videos, describe the different sights and sounds, like, oh look, we're going to go through there, it's going to be really bright, you know, there's going to be lots of noise, so what we'll do is we'll have your ear defenders on when we go through that bit, so it's not too overwhelming, or we'll put a cap on you and to block out some visual, and you know, or you can have a fidget. Pardon you. This bit's going to be busy. You're going to have to walk through this scanner, and the security might have to touch you to check you've got nothing on you, but it's okay because I'll be there with you. Just explaining little things like that as you're watching through the videos. Do a bit of role play. We do this all the time. So we've got this role play that we do where Freddie's a lost child. It's normally in Asda. He pretends that I'm a shop worker, and he'll say, excuse me, shop worker, I've lost my mummy. And then I say to him, okay, what's your name? So this is what I did to teach him what would happen if he got lost and what he'd need to do. So it took a little while to get there, for him to know what the right response is, but we play this quite a lot. He loves playing it, it's really funny. And I say, okay, what's your name? And he tells me his name, and I say, what's your mummy's name? And that sort of thing. So then we pretend that I'm putting an announcement out over the tannoy. You know, we've got Freddie, age 6, his mum's so and so, and then I go from being the security to the tannoy person to, oh, here's mummy, I've come back and I've found Freddie. And that's all practicing with him what's going to happen. He watches videos on YouTube, and he's been watching videos about getting on the plane and where he's going to sit. So he knows on the plane, sit wherever is comfortable in the row of 3. And he's been talking to us about, right, well, if I sit by the window, I can look out the window, but then if I sit in the middle, I'm next to both of you. But if I sit on the end, I can get out to go to the toilet easier. So I sort of said, I'd rather you didn't sit on the end. I'd rather you sit either in the middle or at the window, and the grown-up sits on the end. So we've had that conversation, and he'll tell me like where he wants to sit. Can you turn it down a bit, please? And that may well change, but it's just about having those sorts of conversations and doing a bit of prep and role play, just to sort of get them prepared. And it turns it into a bit of a game as well. We do a lot of these like life skill games where we're doing role play of scenarios. It gets him involved, interested and excited about actually doing it for real. Buy a toy aeroplane. So we went to a boot fair and bought a Peppa Pig aeroplane for like £2, with the little figures and the little suitcase, and he'd play with it all the time, and we'd be like, you know, you're going on an aeroplane, we're going to go on an aeroplane, and Peppa would go up with her suitcase and sit down, and then Rebecca Rabbit the pilot would be there, and then we'd do take off and landing. And then we'd go outside, and every time an aeroplane flew over, I'd say, look, there's an aeroplane in the sky. We're going to go in the sky on an aeroplane. That'll be us soon. So there was a lot of association going on with that. Now, when you're on the plane, keeping them occupied for a period of time, if this is something they're able to do, get them involved in what they want on the plane. You know, what do they want to do? Are there certain games that they want on their tablet? Are there certain shows that they're going to want to watch on their tablet? If they are, make a list, make sure they're downloaded. Don't forget to check, like, expiry dates, download lengths, that sort of thing, because the worst thing is you'll download a show ready, that download's deleted before you've even got there, or it deletes halfway on your holiday, and it's not going to be on your tablet for the flight back. Ask them, are there any little fidget games or little toys or figures or activity books or puzzles or something that they've really been interested in and that they want to do. Buy it and save it for the plane, so it's something new, it's something interesting, it's something exciting, it's something that's going to captivate them and grab their attention, and they will sit there and do for a little while. So involving them in the whole process of it, if they're able to be involved in it. Obviously some kids won't be able to be involved in that, it just depends on your child. Final tips overall for travelling with autistic children. Write a list so you don't forget anything. Have everything you need in the order that you need it. That'll make life so much easier at the other end. There's nothing worse than scrambling around in the bottom of your bag trying to find stuff. What would work better for you? So I've already said for me, I print everything out because that works best for me. Would printouts work best for you, or maybe having a folder on your phone in your emails or your gallery or your files that is specific for what you need at the airport, your boarding passes, your parking, everything like that, your insurance documents, so it's all in one accessible place. Don't forget to check what terminal you're flying from. So some airports have multiple terminals. Some airports have multiple terminals that the same airlines fly from, but they fly to different destinations. You need to check which terminal you are flying from, so you know when you're booking your parking or your taxi or your transfer, which terminal you are booking that to and which terminal you need to turn up at. Is there a early bag drop option? So I know at Gatwick, if you stay in the hotel the night before, you can do a twilight bag drop. So you go in the evening, drop your bags, and the next day you just go straight through to check-in and security, and you don't need to worry about, or you do online check-in and then you go straight through to security, so you don't need to worry about your bag drop. Is that going to be something that's going to work for you? Give yourself extra time. Always allow yourself extra time. You don't know if there's going to be traffic. You may need additional toilet stops. Your child may have a meltdown or may need a bit of extra processing time to calm down, or they might get overwhelmed and just need to have a break away from everything. So always give yourself extra time. Take it slowly and calm. Like I said earlier, don't worry about everybody around you and what they're doing. You concentrate on you and your kids and what you need to do to get through the airport, to get on the plane on your holiday. Everybody else around you is in a rush. That's up to them. Let them go in front, or have your lanyard visible so they can clearly see that you need some additional accessibility help. With taking the stuff on the plane for the kids, some kids like presents and gifts and surprises. So if you are buying little bits and pieces for them to play on the plane that they've never had before and they like unwrapping stuff, it is worth wrapping them up. So it's a bit of an additional surprise element on the plane. Once you get on, once we've taken off and the seatbelt signs off, we can open the bag and then we can unwrap this and see what's in it, and then they play with that before they move on to the next thing. Obviously it all depends on how long your flight is as well. Make sure your hand luggage is accessible to you. So is it easy to carry? Is it a roll along one, or would a backpack work better for you? There's so many amazing bags for underseat and hand luggage on the market. You can find all sorts of things, so have a think about what you think would work best for you. If you need to use wheelchairs, specialist buggies, then do. Every year we've gone so far, Freddie has gone in his special needs buggy. we're not taking it this year. Like I explained earlier, he's a lot bigger now, so we're going to try and get him to walk, and we are doing that a lot more at home. When we're out and about, if we're walking from A to B, like today we went to the shops, I had to go to the bank, I had to go to Primark and exchange some stuff. So he had his iPad in the car, we parked up, the iPad went away, and then he walked with me around the town to do me errands, and then we went back to the car. So we've already warned him that on holiday there's going to be no buggy, and when we're walking from A to B, walking through the strip, or, you know, going to restaurants and bars, the iPad's going away and he needs to walk. And then once we're at our destination and we sit down to settle, that's when he can have his iPad, and then that's his, you know, if you walk properly like a big boy, you get to have your iPad once we get to where it is that we're going. But it's taken us a long time to get to that point, so we've always used this specialist buggy. He's used that as to shut out the outside world, but he is getting a bit more confident with the outside world now and what's going on around him. So we're taking advantage of that by not using the buggy and getting him to walk. I mean, it may go completely wrong. We may have a huge disaster on our hands, and then if that's the case, we'll have to hire something out there, like a little wheelchair, I don't know, or yeah, mobility scooter or something would be Madge from Bendon. You can also hire stuff, so like if you need buggies, not specialist buggies, they don't do special needs equipment where we go, some places might, but if you need buggies for smaller kids, or you need wheelchairs, frames, rollers, that sort of thing, if you've got mobility needs, you can get them hired abroad instead of taking your own, which sometimes is far easier than trying to transport your stuff. We've got a wrist strap that we bought a while ago. We're going to use that this year, because the only trouble is Freddie he might have an impulse to like bolt off, so we just want him strapped to one of us just to make sure that if he does go, it's more for his safety than anything, because there are lots of cars and traffic and lots of people, so we don't want him running into the road. So where we go on holiday, the road closes at 7 p.m. and it's just pedestrians only, but motorbikes do go down there, and push bikes, electric scooters and stuff, so it can still be a bit dangerous. But in the daytime it's open, and he gets a bit confused because in the evening it's closed and he can walk in the road, but in the daytime it's really busy and there's lots of cars and buses and lorries. So we are putting the wrist strap on him for his safety, because he's not going to be in the buggy. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Ignore them. If people want to stare at you, that's their problem. You know, surely they've got their own lives and holidays to be getting on with. They shouldn't be so interested in what you're doing. You just do you, and don't worry about everybody else. And that's it for my tips for going abroad. I will show you now what exactly we take with us.